Did Kawhi Leonard just give us some intel on who's going to be that fifth starter? Welcome into Clippers Talk.
Here we go, Clips fans.
Clippers talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers talks the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts.
Clippers.
It is Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. Good to be with you guys on a football NFL Sunday. But we just heard from Kawhi Leonard and Chris Paul at practice. So I got to go live here because Kawhi said something that gave me a little bit of a brain hatch, that gave me a little bit of a light bulb going on. I think he may have not been holding his cards close enough to his chest. We'll see. We'll analyze the audio coming up. Plus, we'll hear more from training camp as we got a preseason game coming up on Thursday in San Diego. More on that. If you need to get to me, I'm at Follow Adam A. Where else? At Clippers Talk on Spotify. It's the red logo. And then when games start again, you'll need to be following the blue logo one on Spotify too for post-game shows that are exclusively posted there. Appreciate you guys. I still don't see anyone commenting in the chat yet, which makes me wonder if it's actually working, which is a bit of a concern. Am I going to have to bring up a YouTube side? I swear to God, this Restream app sucks. I don't know why I keep using it. Because every time it seems like it has some new bug in it. Is anybody talking in here? Has anybody said anything in the chat yet? Can somebody just confirm that you can hear me, please? I would appreciate that. Are you guys here? Okay, now I see it. Jimmy Williams in. It's working, says Marquise Brown. Jimmy Williams said first, and he was. Appreciate that. A little call response. Just want to make sure everything's connected appropriately here. Okay. If you missed the last show, by the way, in the live section, and there's also a show for you in the video section with me going on with Rogan and Rodney, but the last show was about Ramona Shelburne and her criticism of Clippers Media Day. It seemed like a lot of people had interest in that show. So if you want to check that out, it is in the live section here, but I want to start with Kawhi Leonard. This just came out about an hour ago at practice, at Intuit Dome, at training camp, and I'll bring up the hoop jab for you because I thought he said something that was really interesting. You guys can hear me. Todd says we're good. Can hear me, says Goofy. Seventh says Bram Soccer Man 5000. Cam said clutch video. I guess. I don't know if anybody else heard it the same way I did, but we're going to play that audio for you in just a second as we had our faithful and reliable reporters at training camp today bringing us that good audio. Some interesting questions and answers here from Kawhi and Chris Paul. This just came out. All right, let's start with Kawhi Leonard. Thanks to Hoop Jab for the video here.
A lot of the players talked about like having you on the court at the start of the training camp. I mean, and how excited they are to see you out there. Do you feel that same excitement for yourself?
Yeah. It's always exciting in the beginning of the season. Everybody's getting together, try to build a bond, and it's always great when everybody could, contribute to the first part of the season.
John was talking about how much he loves the accountability of this group because he's been on winning teams for the last couple of years with him in Utah. That wasn't really what the mindset they had from day one. How do you see your role in that? Because he mentioned you just holding him accountable and just kind of bringing him along and what you guys all expect from him.
Yeah.
Of note, as you're looking at Kawhi's delts here, he does look noticeably stronger. Last season, he came in. He doesn't look bulky. He still looks like he's thinner than he was during the 23-24 season, but he also looks stronger than he did last season. I would say he's put on a little bit of muscle, a little bit more definition. He was so lean last season. Maybe he's gained a couple, 3, 4, maybe 5 pounds. I would say from seeing him in person and then these videos here.
Him accountable and just kind of bringing him along and what you guys all expect from him.
Yeah, I mean, just telling him what I see on the floor, or some of the parts that he's struggling in, and I just try to give him tips and just make sure that his habits are great right now, so it can carry over in the season.
Good leadership there from Kawhi Leonard with new Clipper John Collins.
Kawhi, this is your first training camp in a while. How have you felt your way going through it?
It was good. I mean, I only missed the last year's, the year.
Yeah, he was there in Hawaii for the 23-24 training camp.
Going through it?
It was good. I mean, I only missed the last year's. The year before that, I started it. So, but it feels good to be here. Like I said, you need everybody in the beginning to build that team chemistry.
When you look at some of the things you guys have touched on the last week, at least when you've spoken to us, is transition defense and offensive rebounds. How much of those do you think you were able to kind of address with the moves that you guys have been in the offseason, and how much of it are things that you actually need to and can work on here at practice?
Just making sure we're boxing out and getting back. Those are, pretty much what the NBA is now, a bunch of offensive rebounds and transitions. So we got to.
It's about winning that possession battle and getting easy points when you can in transition.
Pretty much what the NBA is now, a bunch of offensive rebounds and transitions. So we got to be elite in both of those categories to succeed.
Has there been someone that stood out to you in camp this early?
Everybody's been doing a great job, especially the young guys. They've been here all season to succeed.
This is a funny question from Rousseau to me because it reminded me of the question in Hawaii last year. Has anybody stood out to you? Maybe he did this intentionally. Rousseau is a funny guy as well. Justin Rousseau. Let's get it right here, which I never do, but I'm sorry. Remember last season, the question to Kawhi, has anybody stood out to you? And he's like, no. And everybody took that as, oh, he's dissing his teammates because nobody is standing out. That doesn't necessarily mean that, but everybody thought that answer was really funny last season, and now it's the same question.
Offensive rebounds and transitions, so we got to be elite in both of those categories to succeed.
Has there been someone that stood out to you in camp this early?
Everybody's been doing a great job, especially the young guys. They've been here all summer, and you can see how much it helped them on the defensive end, just with their communication as well.
Well, we've commented before about position that you play or don't play, and I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins building this team, practicing with him, having a bigger body after how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
So this is a question about having that true four with size, athleticism, and also a guy who can shoot from the outside, which you need to have next to Ivica Zubac. Question here from La Murray. Kawhi in the past said, I'll play the four till we get a real one. So I think he's referencing that a little bit.
I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins building this team, practicing with him, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but it's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll let you hear the full answer, and then I'll get into the part that I think is interesting.
Once the season's put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but it's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger wings, centers, and also John can stretch the floor, also get post up small, so, and even his size. So, it's a great contribute for us.
What's your
Okay. Kawhi starts out there.
It's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger wings, center.
Okay, I need to play the full question again for you. Because the first thing he says, that got me thinking a little bit. That raised an eyebrow.
Position that you play or don't play, and I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins building this team, practicing with them, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years?
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts. And a question about having a big body now in John Collins. We don't know who the fifth starter is. Sounds like there's an open competition for it. That makes me think Kawhi is saying, I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, that he still is going to be starting at the 4. That it could be him next to Derek Jones Jr. or Chris Dunn in the starting lineup. That's the way I interpreted this.
Having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
Law is digging here, rightfully so, to get some intelligence on having John Collins, and many assumed he'd be the starting 4, which would move Kawhi to the 3. But Kawhi here is saying, I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
Am I reading too much into it? Or does that mean John Collins is coming off the bench and Kawhi is still going to be at the 4? Now, first of all, him being at the 4 doesn't mean he's always guarding 4s. That's not how the NBA works anymore. That's not how the Clippers always work. And I think it's been a little bit overblown of an issue because of a series against Denver and Aaron Gordon, who may have gotten 2 or 3 buckets on Kawhi in the post, a couple of physical plays against him. Remember, James Harden was guarding Aaron Gordon a lot. So it's not as simple as, oh, Kawhi's playing the 4. That means he's always guarding the other 4. That's just not the case. It's so incredibly lazy that people keep thinking of it like that. It's not 90s NBA or early 2000s NBA where everybody guards their position. I remember watching recently LeBron James's first game in 2003 against the Sacramento Kings. And because he was playing point then for Paul Silas, he's playing the 1, which you can argue, yes, he's a point forward now. He still plays point guard a lot, but he was playing the 1 back then in 2003 in his first game. And guess who's guarding him for the Sacramento Kings? The other team's 1 in Mike Bibby, even though he's way outmatched size-wise by LeBron, just because back then, yes, that's how it typically was. It's not that way anymore.
I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins, building this team, practicing with them, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
So having a bigger body, does that mean you're sliding back to the 3? We don't know who that 5th starter is. We know Bradley Beal's starting. We know James Harden is. We know Kawhi is. We know Ivica Zubac is. But it is not set in stone. John Collins is the guy. And now I'm really starting to think with this answer from Kawhi Leonard, it's going to be DJ or Chris Dunn.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts. Meaning you're going to be at the 4 again. Not the end of the world, but just trying to get information here and see what the starting lineup's going to be. Who's getting that final spot? I don't know. This could be something. It could be nothing.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but it's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger wings, centers, and also John can stretch the floor, also get post up small, so, and even his size. So, it's a great contribute for us.
What do you guys think? Am I taking this too far? Do you hear it the same way? Am I reading too much into it? I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts. Kawhi knows what Law was getting at there. You got John Collins now. So does that mean you're not playing the 4? Hear it one more time.
Once the season starts, but
practicing with them, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
I mean, he is directly talking about the roster construction the last couple of years with being smaller in the front court, with him having to play the floor. But now you have John Collins, so it should be different, right? Well, Kawhi says,
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
I don't know.
It's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger wings, centers, and also John can stretch the floor. Also get post up small, so and even his size. So I mean, it's a great contribute for us.
What's your
Ideally, I would have Bradley Beal coming off the bench, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. And definitely start John Collins and have DJ in there as well. But it looks like it's between Collins, Derek Jones Jr., and Chris Dunn. The idea of not starting Collins would be to have a better point of attack defender than Bradley Beal being that guy to start games, which it would be. They're not going to put Kawhi on their team's best defender due to his injury history to start off games. At the end of games, sure. And Kawhi will speak to his defense and where it's at here in a little bit. But I understand the logic completely if they don't start John Collins at the 4 to put Kawhi at the 3. It's not the end of the world anyways, because Kawhi's not always guarding other teams' 4s. There's really no data that can tell you that, oh, he got hurt in the 23-24 season because he was guarding 4s more. It's like, well, he tore his ACL guarding 3s more. There's nothing that says that guarding 4s more puts more wear and tear on his body than guarding 3s out on the perimeter, which might actually put more miles on you than guys who are trying to post up on you and not moving around as much. So there's nothing definitive there. So if they do go with DJ or even Dunn, I wouldn't be shocked by that. I don't think it's crazy. Just this is the one answer I've heard so far because Coach Lou says he can't remember. That may have tipped the Clippers' hand when it comes to that 5th starter.
ideal defensive role? Like,
I mean, it's a great contribute for us.
what's your ideal defensive role? Like, who? I know you're in a spot where you can guard whoever they ask you to guard, but at this stage of your career, what kind of players do you feel like?
Like, Edward is just clueless here. I want to see Kawhi guard the other team's best player, stop guarding the 3rd option. You do not want Kawhi starting off games, your best offensive player, guarding the other team's best offensive player. Nobody really does that anymore, even if Kawhi was 25 years of age. That puts way too much on guys. That's too taxing. That's not how you're going to get the most out of them. At the very end of games, sure, and they've always done that. You've seen Kawhi guarding like Jamal Murray at the end of games with he and Zubats in the pick and roll with Jamal and Jokic, or guarding Steph Curry at the end of games. That's just a non-starter, so to speak. You don't want that. Too much is asked of him on the offensive end to be starting off games guarding the other team's best player. That's nuts. A guy this injury prone, you want him doing that? My goodness.
They ask you to guard, but I know you're in a spot where you can guard whoever they ask you to guard, but at this stage of your career, what kind of players do you feel like you're in the best position to guard more often during games?
I think everybody really, whatever the matchup is, depends on the night. I'm the same. I can still guard. I can still slide with the best of them. So
I love hearing this from Kawhi. I'm the same. I can still guard. I can still slide with the best of them.
I'm the same. I can still guard. I can still slide with the best of them. So whoever that the competition is, I'll see what the coaches will see and go from there.
Yeah, what the coaches are not going to do is have him starting off on the other team's best player all the time. That's a recipe for disaster. That's how you put more miles on his legs. Don't need that.
What's your plan with training camp as far as the preseason games go? Do you plan for Thursday? Are you Do you want to kind of work your way up from the games?
What do you mean?
Like, are you going to play in the first game? Do you want to work your way back into game shape, I guess? Or game
Yeah, for sure. This is what training camp is for, to get in shape, get ready for the season, and I think we are going to be participating on Thursday. I believe so.
Okay. Also revealing. Sounds like stars and starters could be playing on Thursday in San Diego.
I think we are going to be participating on Thursday. I believe so.
Lawrence has shared with us that you trained all the way through June just to kind of like replicate what it would be like to play that long again.
Great question from Joey Lynn here. Remember Lawrence Frank talking about Kawhi continuing to train after the season ended, see if the body can hold up, kind of parallel it with a long playoff run? This is a great question right
We
here.
are going to be participating on Thursday. I believe so.
Lawrence has shared with us that you trained all the way through June just to kind of like replicate what it would be like to play that long again into another NBA Finals run. What did that look like for you? Obviously, you can't fully replicate playoff intensity, but what were those training sessions like, and how do you think that they helped you?
It was just more of just making sure that I was keeping my body strong and making sure I'd be durable. And I just didn't want to stop there. I just wanted to keep going for another month or so. So I could just train my body for a pounding, and it wasn't really about a championship run. I obviously want that, but I just wanted to test my body to see where it was.
So what are the lessons?
Interesting. So Kawhi didn't make it so much about, okay, I'm doing this to see if I could hold up for a championship run. He wanted to test his body and see where it was. He wanted to keep training. He wanted to keep going. But great signs that there wasn't any swelling of the knee, that he's fully healthy, that he's coming into training camp ready to go like this. So far, so good. Keep your fingers crossed.
You felt this healthy in this?
I just wanted to test my body to see where it was.
So what are the last time you felt this healthy in this game?
When's the last time you felt this healthy?
Not last season, but the year before that, when I played this all the way up to the playoffs, felt pretty good.
So the 23-24 season, obviously, he felt pretty good. And he had arguably his best regular season ever when he set the all-time NBA efficiency record. I can pull that up for you because I don't know. Could we be in store for this again? These crazy numbers from Kawhi that we'd never seen before in NBA history, efficiency-wise, from a player. I have the tweet for you. I was chronicling this as it was happening, by the way. Tuca, get off me. This cat is on my ankles right now, just biting the hell out of me. Here were the numbers from Kawhi, the 23-24 season. The Clippers, they had a 25-5 record over these 30 games. This was during the 26-5 record over 31 games. But Kawhi averaged 26 points per game, 57% from the field, 51% from three, 92% from the free throw line. First player to average 25 points on 55, 50, 90 shooting splits in any 30-game span ever in NBA history. So when Kawhi says he's feeling in shape like he was then, or he's feeling as good as his body was then, the 23-24 season, look the hell out. That is very meaningful. Some people are saying, like, Aaron Gordon was abusing Kawhi. That's just, like, it's casual stuff. I'm sorry. Go count how many buckets he actually got on Kawhi in that series. Kawhi wasn't even guarding him that much. This is why you over exaggerate a problem like this. Be like, oh, see, Aaron Gordon, he's a four. Kawhi shouldn't be playing the four. He got those 2 buckets on him. And it's confirmation bias to people who already felt like Kawhi shouldn't be playing the four. So then you turn it into a mountain into a molehill into a mountain type thing where you just take things way too far and act like that was some major problem. Like Aaron Gordon had a great series against the Clippers. He got a couple of buckets on Kawhi. That's okay. Not every team has an Aaron Gordon. So you don't overreact too much. Is the word I was looking for, and act like that's happening every night, or it's some huge flaw on this team and Kawhi can't play the 4. Look, it's great that they got John Collins. It's great because he can help with matchups like that. But again, Kawhi wasn't even the one playing Aaron Gordon all the time in that series. All right, more from Kawhi from just about an hour ago at training camp.
The year before that, when I played this all the way up to the playoffs, felt pretty good.
This is your first training camp with James Harden, obviously from the beginning.
Yeah.
What at this point, like, is there anything that kind of does for you guys? You guys have played for almost 2 years now, but is there anything that kind of does for you guys having a training camp together?
I mean, I just think it just helps, just overall, just not even just me and him, just it helps the overall collective group, from the coaching staffs to the players. You know, just seeing what plays we're running at times, and you know, making sure our aggressiveness are both there on the floor, and everybody's is, so we could kind of piece it all together.
Who stood out to you over the course of this week?
I just answered the question with him.
Like as far as like
said the young
what you guys
guys
need to improve upon.
So Law started this off with the same line of questioning that Justin Rousseau had with who's impressed you so far, who stood out.
Kind of piece it all together.
Who stood out to you over the course of this week?
I just answered the question with him.
Like as far as like
said the young
what you guys need
guys.
to improve upon. You know, like you've had a week now. Like what has kind of stood out to you as something where it's like over these next 2 weeks you want to take the next step collectively.
Just being better with overall just everything. That's what we're here working on. We want to execute offensively. We want to make sure we're having more pace on that end, and then as defense, we want to make sure we're helping everybody, knowing our spots, our rotations, and I think we've been doing that. Just a little slight slips. A lot of guys haven't been playing that long, so it's going to get better.
What's Chris Paul been like to have around in the scrimmages and practices?
Oh, he's been great. You know, obviously 20 years in the league, been a point guard, so a lot of knowledge right there. Just been helping everybody, especially the young guys, making sure, you know, Yannick is setting the right pick and rolls, getting him in position. Just being just an overall point guard leader, talent.
What is the second year under Jeff Van Gundy for you guys defensively?
Question about Jeff Van Gundy now in his second year with the team.
It's great. I mean, he did a great job last year. We played well all last season, and you know, he's locked in, and all of us respect him for it.
It sounds like CP3's walking up here and says something to Kawhi like, damn, they got you again after media day.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Thank
you. Maybe that's CP3.
And all of us respect him for it.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
What's happening? I can't tell who it is, but it looks like CP3 is about to sit down, so I think it was him. Damn, Kawhi, media day again? Here is CP3 still there today. Make sure you guys are seeing it all right.
CP, when we were talking to you at your introductory press conference, you said you had seen some of the reports that are like, you know, he's only going here if he starts and whatnot, and you said that, you know, wasn't really what you were thinking about, but you're obviously also one of the most competitive players to ever play this game, and you did play all 82 last year. When you were going about your summer, what was that like internally, just knowing that, like, that's who you are and who you've been, but that's not going to be the case here?
Man,
great question from Joey Lynn here. Oh, and by the way, for Ramona or any Pablo Torres that are complaining that Kawhi didn't get a question about aspiration, that doesn't mean all these people aren't journalists because they're asking basketball questions. They are. That's okay. The fans want to know about the basketball side of things. I wanted to know about the starting lineup. We might have gotten an answer on that from Kawhi indirectly. It's okay. Pablo, they're still journalists. They do great work. Don't demean our people like that. All right.
Great space to be in. You know what I mean? Every day we practice, and I get a chance to come in here, and I get to go home. I get to go home. I got out of practice yesterday, drove down to the valley, watched my daughter's AAU game. You know what I mean? So ain't nothing changed.
You still getting used to the fact that you can do that?
Absolutely, definitely getting used to it. But it's nothing better. You know what I mean? To get a chance to come in here and hoop, and like I said, compete at the highest level. Get a chance to have a little balance.
Has there been someone that stood out to you in the early days of camp, at least?
Anybody that stood out? I mean, I'm playing with a brand new group of guys, right? So everybody, like Brook Lopez, you know, just he's been in the league now 18 years, and so then competed against them for a long time, and now to get a chance to play alongside them has been pretty dope.
As a player in this league, and you've seen Kawhi get injured so much, and last season you didn't start the season, what's it like to actually see him on the court strong and healthy?
It's great. It's great to get a chance to spend time. I've known Kawhi for a long time, and so to
Kawhi, I think, spoke at his camp before, so they've had a relationship.
Get a chance to spend time. I've known Kawhi for a long time, and so to see the work that he puts in and day out, there's a joy, you know, that all of us have whenever we get a chance to play. And anybody who's been through injuries, I know he has. So he just looks happy to be out here.
Speaking of Brook for a second, you've seen the evolution of this game.
See, I go after Pablo Torre a little bit for demeaning our beat writers, our local reporters, because, and I'll read the tweet for you just to be accurate and specific. I know he is big on that too. Let me make sure to get this in here. It sounds like the reason there weren't more follow-up questions, him talking about media day. It sounds like the reason there weren't more follow-up questions about aspiration is that the actual journalists weren't given the microphone to ask them. The actual journalists, therefore implying anybody who wasn't asking a question about aspiration, they weren't actual journalists. It's BS, man. I responded to the Ramona Shelburne thing. I think I laid it out pretty damn clearly. She got 5 of the 11 questions that went to Kawhi Leonard. So you shouldn't be complaining that other people like, oh, why didn't Chris Mannix get a question? Well, you took up 5. And there's people that are there every day. Our local beat reporters, and they're journalists. And no, not all of them are going to ask questions about aspiration. Some of them still did, because it's Clippers Media Day, not aspiration investigation press conference. They are serving the fans. And the fans don't just want to know about aspiration. Believe it or not. Some don't care and they want to talk about basketball and the makeup of this team. Now, I will defend Pablo in this way. I hate the Pablo's a known Laker fan. What do you expect? Bullshit. It's like anybody that you know is investigating the Clippers like this is like, oh, they're all Laker fans. It's like, no, it's not that simple either. Come on, that's just completely unfair. Unless you provide some evidence, and I haven't seen any. No, he's not doing this because he's a Laker fan and he wants to do a hit job on the Clippers. Like, overly simplistic, weak. More from CP3.
Anybody who's been through injuries, I know he has. So he just looks happy to be out here.
Speaking of Brook for a second, you've seen the evolution of this game over the 20 years that you've been in it. Is he the oddest evolution you've seen out of players, where he came in as a post-up threat and now he's just a three-point shooter, like he can stretch the floor as well as he has?
He was a post.
Talking about Brook Lopez?
Just a three-point shooter, like he can stretch the floor as well as he has?
He was a post-up threat?
When he came out of Stanford and and he went to Brooklyn. He was
Oh, you
primarily
talking about Brooke?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was just talking about Kawhi.
Oh, no,
You
I'm
just
sorry.
switched to Brooke.
Yeah, I picked up on it, but I can understand why that was a little bit confusing there for CP3.
Brooklyn. He was
Oh, you
primarily
talking about Brooke?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was just talking about Kawhi.
Oh, no,
You
I'm
just
sorry.
switched to Brooke.
Kawhi is a post up.
Exactly. That's why I was trying to figure out where you was going with that. Yeah, Brooke, unbelievable, and he's like a lot of guys in this league that I've appreciated who's transformed their game. You know, I remember when he played for the New Jersey Nets. You know what I mean? It was a traditional big, and the way that he stretches the court now, he draws fouls. It's just it's cool to see.
How do you coach a training camp like this where it's very veteran heavy and you guys want to pace yourself going into the season, but also make sure you're ready for the regular season?
There ain't no pace, not in this camp. We've been getting after it. But the thing is, the league changed.
So I want you to hear that again.
You coach a training camp like this where it's very veteran heavy and you guys want to pace yourself going into the season, but also make sure you're ready for the regular season.
You guys want to pace yourself going into the season, but also make sure you're ready for it. Oh my God. Did that touchdown count from Justin Herbert, who just hurdled a defender at the goal line in the open field?
There ain't no pace, not in this camp. We've been getting after it. But the thing is,
We're not pacing ourselves basically just because we're vets. I like this answer.
So make sure you're ready for the regular season.
there ain't no pace, not in this camp. We've been getting after it. But the thing is, the league changed years ago to where it's not just about camp. We've been training and running like this for the last month. You know what I mean? So now, with camp just being a little bit shorter, it's a lot of playing. It's a lot of playing. So I think everybody gonna be excited about the ninth. You know what I mean? To play against somebody else. We've been playing against each other so long.
It sounds like they're really going at it. I don't know what play I just saw in the Chargers game. You guys can delete that from your memory.
What do you feel like is your best defensive role, both individually and adding to a team at this stage of your career?
I don't know. I mean, I talk on defense a lot. I mean, I done got a lot of steals in my career. Been all defense a few times, so I feel like I know what I'm doing.
When you say that you talk,
Yeah, he's still undersized and he's not nearly as quick as he used to be, but he's not a complete liability on defense either, CP3. He's got great instincts, quick hands.
Defense a few times, so I feel like I know what I'm doing.
when you say that you talk, like, what's that like from the guard position? Like, we know bigs see everything. You a guard, you on the ball. You know, you need to hear guys tell you about screens or not.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm not always on the ball. So now, you know, later in my career, I've sort of guarded the wings and stuff. So I do get a chance to see everything. Yeah, I'm hoping that I get a chance to go over after the season gets over.
You know, it's 3 a.m. in China, but there's 2,000 people watching you right now.
Oh, wow. What up? Ni hao. Ni hao. I've always loved my visits to China, so I'm definitely planning on going when the season's over. Thank you.
Chris, you mentioned obviously you want to hit the ground running, pacing yourself. Why, other than the obvious, you want to start the season off on a strong note, why is it important not to kind of pace yourself and just go from training camp, and even before that, you said? It is an 82-game season.
It's an 82-game season, but things changed years ago. I mean, obviously when we shortened camp, when I first came in the league, camp was about 3 weeks, about a month. We might have had 8 preseason games. I think we only got 4 this year, so it's just preparation. Be ready.
How did that bond with Kawhi start? Like, getting to a point where you're not just 2 players in the NBA, but 2 guys who can hit each other up whenever.
I don't know. The league is funny. Some guys you know from other experiences, but you only gonna really talk like that when you're teammates, and that's fine. But Kawhi actually spoke at my basketball camp in San Diego years ago when I played for the Clippers first time. And, he was a Jordan guy, so I've known him for a while.
On Media Day, we saw a video that the NBA posted of Blake just congratulating you on being back here and playing another season. Knowing what you two meant to this organization, what did it mean to hear from him?
Man, it's dope. It's really dope. I'm sure BG, well, I hope, BG get out to a game or something this year.
Oh, yeah. You can get out all right. They might retire his jersey. You never know. He'll definitely be at that game if that happens.
For BG, well, I hope, BG get out to a game or something this year. DJ, we still talk all the time. Even though JJ coached the Lakers, I still talk to him all the time. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, Matt Barnes, Jamal Crawford, all us are still well connected. So it's really dope to still have that bond with them guys. No problem.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Thank you all.
All right.
Lob City Clippers, still tight, still a close-knit group, even though during the time, there were some locker room issues, of course, but I think those old wounds have healed, There was a lot of different personalities. Sometimes guys rubbed each other the wrong way. Maybe that's part of the downside to the Lob City era, more about injuries and, Corey Brewer and Josh Smith for their failings in my mind than the personality conflicts or what have you, locker room discord. Let's hear from James Harden. This was yesterday at training camp, and then we'll hear from Coach Lou and John Collins, and then we'll get out of here. All right. Appreciate you guys hanging with me. Appreciate Hoop Jab for the audio. James Harden yesterday.
What's up, James? How you doing? You look happy to talk to us?
Always.
John said on media day that you did another mini camp out in Arizona. John Collins, how did that do?
I did what?
John Collins was saying on media day that you guys had another little mini camp out in Arizona that you put together.
James Harden had another private training camp, I guess, players only training camp that he hosted in Arizona again this summer, which is awesome.
How did that go this year? I know it's not the first time you done it, but how did that go this year?
It really was for more the older guys. Like this, John, CP, Brad. Just to kind of get the guys on board and hang out a little bit. We had a couple days just working out and hanging out, man. That's what it's about. The more time we spend off the court, the better, on the court it translates. I think it's helpful for our training camp. So, obviously, it's been a little over a week, but I think it was a good start for us.
I'm going to see if I can find a little bit cleaner of audio for you with James Harden here. Otherwise, I'll go back to it and try to translate it for you. But I know there's a couple different sources we can use. I think. Is that the only one here? Might be. No, I think Hoop Chef might have something. Hoop Chef and Hoop Jab, two of my go-tos here. Yeah, let's see if this is a cleaner here from James Harden yesterday at practice. We talking about practice.
John Collins, how did that do?
What?
John Collins was saying on media day that you guys had another little mini camp out in Arizona that you put together. How did that go this year? I know it's not the first time you done it, but how did that go this year?
It really was for more the older guys. Like this, John, Brooke, CP, Brad. Just to kind of get the guys on board and hang out a little bit. We had a couple days just working out and pick up, hanging out, man. That's what it's about. The more time you can spend off the court, the better, on the court it translates. And I think it's helpful for our training camp. So, obviously, it's been a little over a week, but I think that was a good start for us.
You guys have been talking about a lot about transition defense and offensive rebound, two of the things that kind of plagued you guys against the Nuggets.
Yep.
How much of that do you think was addressed with your free agency additions, and how much of that do you think you guys really need to key in on here at training camp?
All day, every day. He bleeds us through our body. That's in the defense. Like that's the whole defense. Like in half court, we get set half court defensively. Really elite. Transition defense is part of the basketball game and rebound. Those are the two main things. So, part of that is no pick six, which means turn the ball over to get easy layups and transition. Eliminate a lot of those mistakes, which come from majority of the ball handlers. But other than that, it's just transition defense and rebound. I think we did a pretty good job last year, but we need to be even better this year. I think we got the personnel to do it.
What was your reaction?
Transition defense, rebounding, closing out possessions with defensive rebounds. They were great until the series against Denver. But again, Denver's a unique animal because, well, Nikola Jokic can play out on the perimeter. Therefore, he's pulling away the Clippers' best defensive rebounder in Ivica Zubac. And then if you're a little bit smaller out there like they were, you're going to get killed on the glass.
We've been seeing Jeff Van Gundy's shirt that the assistant coaches are wearing.
That's Jeff. Doesn't surprise me at all. It's crazy.
The Get the F Back shirts by Jeff Van Gundy.
That's Jeff. Doesn't surprise me at all. He's crazy. Good crazy though. He cares a lot. He puts the work in and he does whatever it takes to prepare us for any situation.
He's crazy, but good crazy. He cares. I love hearing that. Love JVG. Hashtag JVG for MVP. One of the MVPs on the team last season.
A lot of help going into a second straight year with him here, with your guys' defense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys with us last year, so you guys see how good defensively we were. I just offensively we struggled a little bit. Which is why our record was so up and down earlier part of the season. But with the additions of better players offensively, more experience, more talent, understand what's going on, and we carry that same carryover defensively. Offensively is going to be much more easy. And both ends of the ball.
This is the first time you've had an actual training camp with Kawhi since you've been here. What have you seen out of him?
He looks season form. He's been putting the work in all summer. He's been aggressive and he looked like Kawhi, which is beneficial for our team. It's always that moment where when's Kawhi coming back or whatever the case may be. Like he's here, he looks really, really good. Our team looked really, really good. So it's about us just bringing it all together.
Welcome what lighter workload that you're going to see?
Say that again?
Do you welcome the lighter workload?
I don't prepare for a lighter workload. My workload is
Remember, Coach Lou is trying to put less on the plate of James Harden.
Prepare for play every single game at 36, 38 minutes, however many minutes I got to play. I prepare for that. So there's some games we might play 20 minutes because we handle business. Some games I might play 40. So all of it balances out, and I prepare my mind and my body for it.
What do you feel like is the best defensive role for you? Last year you guarded a lot of bigger bodies.
Whatever the team needs. However that looks, game by game, possession by possession, I think we all got the same mindset. So, every game is going to be different. It's going to be a different challenge for us. As a unit, we got to prepare for it and go out there and get it done.
How does John Collins help you as someone who can play with Zoo, give y'all a bigger front court? Like, how does that help you defensively or make change things for you?
Brooke, John, Brad, all the additions help us. We're versatile. We got more depth, so we can figure out, who's better guarding at what position, possession by position, or whatever game, we're in. So the more talent you got, the more depth you got, the more versatility you got. Team can make those decisions as the game is happening.
I love this. I love this answer.
All the additions help us. We're versatile. We got more depth, so we can figure out, who's better guarding at what position, possession by position, or whatever game, we're in. So the more talent you got, the more depth you got, the more versatility you got. Team can make those decisions as the game is happening.
T. Lue can make those decisions as the game is happening. Of course, Edward is going to be the one to say this. Jeff Van Gundy should be the head coach.
You carried a lot of the offensive workload last year along with Norm, but Ty said that he felt like you kind of got worn down towards late in the season. Yeah. And getting into this year, he doesn't want you to have to be in 60 pick and rolls every game. What does the reduced workload look like for you, where you're not handling the ball?
We'll see. That means I get more catch and shoot opportunities, which is pretty efficient.
Okay, he's good at catch and shoot threes, but he's not used to taking them. That has been a clear issue. The attempts are far too low, even though when he takes them, he can shoot them at a high percentage. But that is an adjustment for James.
I mean, I get more catch and shoot opportunities, which is pretty efficient at that. So we'll see what that looks like. We got more guys that can handle the ball, more guys that offensively can put pressure on defenses, which is makes our job, everybody's job, a lot easier. So however that looks, man, like last year we were put in a position where I had to, from the beginning of the season, I had to, have a higher workload. So this year, hopefully it's a little bit different, but I can still be more efficient.
Are you the type of guy who
See, if I got multiple questions with James Harden, like I'm Ramona Shelburne or something, and I can just get 5 questions in. If I got 5 questions in with him, one of them would have been at media day, because I did ask him about his relationship with CP3. But one of the other questions I would have asked is flexing his role a little bit, reducing his scoring, being more of a facilitator, going back to the way he played when Paul George was still here in the 23-24 season when he first became a Clipper, and that adjustment and how he's preparing for that, or does he see it as a major adjustment? So I'm glad Tomer got this in here. Great question.
Have a higher workload. So this year, hopefully it's a little bit different, but I can still be more efficient.
Are you the type of guy who needs the ball in his hand to feel rhythm, or like, do you need the ball in your hand to feel rhythm, or is it like catch and shoot easier for you?
Both. I mean, catch and shoot is an easy shot. You got to dribble with the ball and have somebody pressure you and do a physical issue. So,
it's
welcoming the catch and shoot opportunities.
See, that's good to hear, because it is an adjustment. Trust me, him doing catch and shoot stuff, he's not used to it. He's used to always having the ball in his hands, of course. So I think as much as he's welcoming it, because it is less taxing, it's smart to, I do think it's easier said than done for a guy that's used to having the ball in his hands constantly. In fact, I'm trying to look up his catch and shoot numbers right now for you, but I'll get back to that. But I'm glad he's embracing it here.
When we were talking to you in Hawaii last year at training camp, you said you felt like you were in the best shape that you had been in some years, and then obviously you responded by playing almost every game all NBA. Like, how do you build on that and take another step forward? Is the preparation the same going into this season? How do you feel in that regard?
Even more, just because we got to get out to a really good start. This is a tough conference that we're in, and
I like this, stressing getting off to a really good start.
Last year we were just trying to find our way, figure out what we had. This year we know what we have. We got to just put it together, but it's a tough conference, and I think end of the regular season we want to put ourselves in a position to have a good postseason run. So it's very, very vital for us to get off to a good start. It starts with me and Block.
I mean, it's huge to get off to a quick start, and him mentioning that, he's basically talking about the standings and how much they matter, being at the top of the Western Conference and making an easier path for yourself in the playoffs.
Get off to a good start. It starts with me and Block.
Going into year 17, you've seen every defensive scheme against you. You have so much experience. What is the difference like going into this season for you? What's the mentality?
Same. Be aggressive and give guys easier opportunities. Like I said, just to piggyback on last year, we had a young team that was just trying to figure out our bench and figure out, what guys were actually going to play. I think now we know that the guys are going to play, in our roles. The guys know their roles. They've been in certain roles, their entire year, so it's nothing different. So for me, I think it's just being an engine, pushing the pace, hitting guys shots, and making sure I'm aggressive, because that allows that.
Has there been someone at camp who's kind of wowed you guys?
I don't think as wild as I think Brooke, being playing against him and obviously seeing how good he was when outside looking in now, actually being on our team and practice he's on the other team, but overall on our team, he's good, man. He's shooting shooting the ball, playing off the catch, posting up defensively. Just he's gonna bring a lot of value to our team. I'm excited he's on our side.
So talking about Brooke Lopez there, like seeing that. We'll hear from Coach Lou and John Collins here in a second. John Collins, then Coach Lou, but both he and CP3 talking about Brooke, which is cool to see. I think that's a really underrated pickup for this team by the national media. We understand having a backup center with this team that's this good again is huge for them. But let's hear from John Collins from yesterday.
At 4 days of camp now. How's everything been? How's the transition here been? How's everything going so far?
No, it's obviously a lot, but it's going well. Every day at camp has been a progression for me. I feel like the team as well. Just everybody getting back into the swing of things. I'm an East Coast kid from the South, Florida boy, so this is definitely a new adjustment. But I love the palm trees and sunny weather. That reminds me of home, so it's going well.
What's the biggest adjustment being here?
Inside the gym, obviously just playing with greats, just being held accountable to this standard. Not to say it's not new, but actually having it every day is a little different. Something like that, they coming.
I didn't hear this again.
What's the biggest adjustment being here?
Inside the gym, obviously just playing with greats, just being held accountable to this standard.
Ooh, that's what we want to hear. Held accountable to this standard, playing with greats. This is the best team he's ever been on by far. Say that for quite a few guys on this Clippers team, of course.
Not to say it's not new, but actually having it every day is a little different. Something like that, they coming. And then outside is really the driving and the traffic. I really got to get a little aggressive. Make my way, or I'm going to be waiting. So those are two so far.
Okay, so to follow up on James Harden and catch and shoot threes, last season he shot 42% on them. But he only attempted 1.5 per game. So just 1.5 catch and shoot threes per game. Because most of the time he's taking them off the bounce, the ball is in his hands. They aren't catch and shoot threes. I can go back to 23-24 season with James Harden on catch and shoot threes, and I think it's going to be something similar. Okay, at least he was taking 2 a game then. He shot 38% on them. So if he could get closer to 3 or more catch and shoot threes per game, I think that would be highly beneficial, and it would be an indicator that the usage rating isn't as high. The ball isn't stuck in his hands as much. The ball's hopping a little bit more, and he's getting easier, better looks.
You've been on winning teams before, but like you said, this feels like a team that's pushing each other every single day. Obviously, the last 2 years for you guys were in the postseason, but what is that vibe like starting that from day one of training camp?
No, it's intense. Obviously, you guys, CP, James, Kawhi, Brooke, Champ, all of our guys, but just seeing how they come in and work, and then also that's how they're speaking to me, and the demands and the accountability that they want for me to play at is a lot higher than I've had to deal with before. So
I love the second time he's talked about accountability. They're expecting a lot out of him. The standard is higher here.
It's nothing for me to go down in the hole and play a little harder, but I'm happy to have those guys more than anything cheering me on and leading me to hopefully a ring.
The other day, Ty said,
"Ooh, y'all like hearing that?"
That there's a bit of a competition for some starting spots going on. How have you felt that competition's been going?
I feel like there's always a competition. You know what I mean? It's just like the nature of basketball. So he's right. You know what I mean? And I feel like you got to earn your spot regardless of wherever you are, what team you're in, and whether it's me or whoever. I'm up for the challenge. I'm coming ready to play every day. Going to be professional, but. Whenever I hear that, it just means a lot of competition in the locker room, and that team wants to win.
Is starting important for you?
Okay,
sort of.
I've heard this answer is starting important to you, and I thought it was a pretty honest answer from John Collins here, starting out with him saying sorta.
You know, that team wants to win.
Is starting important for you?
Sort of, but not really at the end of the day. Wherever I am, as long as I'm making the biggest impact, most efficient impact, whatever's best for the team, that's what matters more. Starting is cool, but it is what it is.
What does impact look like?
I like hearing that. As long as I'm making the biggest impact, being efficient out there, can't get hung up on that because you never know, we might not be starting. I really like his energy, his spirit, his personality, his character. Like I said before, kind of a breath of fresh air. He's so talkative. The Clippers, they got some quiet guys on this team. It's not just Kawhi. This is real good locker room energy from John Collins that we've heard at Media Day and here.
But it is what it is.
What does impact look like to you? And then you also mentioned about the demands. Can you kind of expand a little bit about that?
Just the demands to be in, be the low man, to be in my spots, to be in the shift, to get that 50-50 ball. All the small things that add up to, wins are what those guys, are expecting out of me and everybody on the team. So it's just a demanding atmosphere for guys who have been in this league a while and want to continue winning. Something I'm cool with, obviously, putting on my backpack and going to work.
Ty has mentioned with JVG here that physicality has been a big emphasis for this team, being physical, setting the tone early. How are you with that type of thing? Do you like a physical game? How are you kind of with physicality and all that?
I wouldn't say I like a physical game. I definitely gonna feel it after, but again, it's basketball, and it does cause confusion. Puts the defense in disarray. Nobody wants to be defended by somebody swiping and hitting them all game. So it does wear on the other team, and that's something that I do think is important to win. Obviously doing it the smart way without fouling.
You obviously are joining Derek Jones. You guys, I saw a video on Media Day. I think you guys called the Bounce Gang. I think it was.
I know the fans. I didn't want to give a name too early, just off the dome. But I know the fans. Whoever we're gonna have some sort of Duncan name. I'm hoping is really cool. But I'm really excited to play with him. We've had great chemistry so far, and hopefully we get a little DJ to JC live sometime soon. I know everybody would love that. Me too. I would too.
You have a nickname in mind for you guys?
Yeah, it's got to come. We gotta let it happen. We gotta let it manifest. But when it does happen, you will hear it. You will hear it.
I like the Bounce Bros instead of the Bash Brothers.
What is your shirt? It's a lot going on. Where did you even get that? What does it mean to you?
Long story short, I'm from a Caribbean background, from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I grew up, so just reggae, Bob, being Irie, right? I could go on for days, but just the mentality of peace, love, and positivity is just something I'm always trying to embrace and embody. And Bob is, obviously a great man, rest his soul, and somebody that just inspires me not only with his music, but in just, again, what he talks about and what he is personified of, as well as the ice cold and green on the back, just representing Black Power worldwide. So, it just represents me.
James.
Very cool. Didn't know this about John Collins. He's just so talkative, engaging. I love these answers.
Said that Brooke has been someone who's kind of stood out to him throughout the early days of camp. Has someone stood out to you in particular through the early days of camp that you've played alongside or against?
DJ, just his activity and his impact, his awareness, his athleticism. It means a lot more playing against him every day, seeing him come into work. Obviously, Kawhi, James, CP. CP had another great day. Brooke, been a force down low. Zoo, same thing. But DJ, been a big surprise for me.
It was a great day from CP Brooklyn.
Really today he was just shooting the hell out of the ball. Obviously wheeling and dealing, running the floor, being in general as he does. But jumper was going today, so if he jump shots going and he's also wheeling, dealing, facilitating the team, that's a good day to me.
I know that you participated in the dunk contest before, but it's going to be at Intuit Dome this year. Any interest in returning and putting on?
Oh man, yeah.
Again?
It's damn. You're right. Maybe we we'll see. No promises. But I appreciate you telling me that. See if I could see how I feel.
Thank you.
That's interesting. Yeah, with it added into a dome, what if you had John Collins and DJ in the dunk contest? DJ's won it before. All right, let's hear from Coach Lou from yesterday, and then we'll get out of here. Appreciate you guys. This is Clippers training camp coverage here on Clippers Talk.
How you doing, Ty? How was day 4? Okay. What did you guys do today?
Just work some offensive stuff. We're trying to clean up our offense and how we're going to attack. And then we just did defensive stuff and then played. We just played 20-minute scrimmage. That's about it.
Participation with Bogey and Brad. How did they do anything?
Bogey played, Brad didn't play.
So Bogey played contact, everything in the scrimmage?
Yes.
James said Brooke has been the one guy who's kind of like stood out to him among the new additions. What have you guys seen out of Brooke on the floor?
His ability to protect the paint, be at the rim, be able to block shots and deter shots. And he's been making a lot of threes, just picking and popping, spacing the floor. And we've been doing a good job of knocking down open shots. When we switch, he's been going to the block and taking advantage of smaller players as well. So he's really been doing a good job offensively.
Is he the weird?
So a lot of people praising Brook Lopez, including Coach Lou. Telling you guys, he averaged over 30 minutes per game. He's always been a starter. Now he's going to be able to do what he does best in a more condensed amount of time because Zubats will be starting. Brook Lopez is still a force. He was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year just a couple of years ago.
First evolution you've seen out of a player? Because when he came in, he was a post-up guy.
Yeah.
Never really took a jumper. And now he's one of the most prolific.
I got to think about that. I'll get back to you on that. But you could.
It's quite the transformation that Brook Lopez went through in his career. And we'll see if Ivica Zubats takes on some of that. Maybe having Brook Lopez and having Zoo under his wing again, like when they were Lakers, maybe Zubats will be expanding his game, just like Brook Lopez did around the same age in his late 20s when he started shooting threes.
He's one of the most prolific.
I got to think about that. I'll get back to you on that. But you could be on to something.
I often am.
Guys are talking about how the young players on the training camp roster have really pushed them. What can you say about what you've seen from that part of the roster over the last
week? The young guys had a chance to play before practice today, and I told them I'm just proud of just their, the way they progressed over the summer, the work they put in, and the style of basketball they play is really fun to watch. So a couple of guys when we have our scrimmage for the other guys, they got in. I think Kobe did a great job today. Jordan did a great job today. Yannick has been pretty good when he's gotten in there. And so they've done a great job, man. Like I said, all summer just working with JVG, working with our player development staff. They really improved.
Which Kobe?
So we heard Kawhi today praise the young guys. Coach Lou yesterday here praising them.
Working with our player development staff. They really improved.
Which Kobe did a great job because you have two of them now.
Kobe Brown.
What can you report from Kobe, man? This is his third year. Lawrence refers to year 3 guys. It's basically you got to show you belong. What do you want to see from him this month and over the course of the season?
Just keep staying with that confidence. I think he brings us a great energy. I think offensive rebounder, a guy who can rebound the ball and push the ball and make plays. And just be consistent with his shot. That's the biggest thing. Just consistent with his 3-point shot. Everything else he's been doing has been good.
You have Bud here.
What?
When you have Coach Bud here, Tibbs early in the week.
It's all about Kobe Brown. If he can shoot, he can play. As Don McClain once told us, if you can't shoot, you can't play. This is the NBA now, especially.
Everything else he's been doing has been good.
What do you want to see from him this month and over the course of the season?
Just keep staying with that confidence. I think he brings us a great energy. I think offensive rebounder, a guy who can rebound the ball and push the ball and make plays. And just be consistent with his shot. That's the biggest thing. Just consistent with his 3-point shot. Everything else he's been doing has been good.
You have Bud here. Tibbs,
what?
When you have Coach Bud here, Tibbs early in the week. When they're here watching, are they just watching you guys?
I think he said butt. He said Bud, but it sounded like butt. from Tomer, and Coach Lou's like, I got what?
You have a Bud here. Yeah,
Have what?
When you have Coach Bud here, Tibbs earlier in the Bud here. Yeah,
Have
Tibbs,
what?
When you have Coach Bud here, Tibbs earlier in the week, when they're here watching, are they just watching you guys kind of bouncing things off each other? What is that kind of like?
I don't know. You gotta ask them.
Oh, they're a little too far away, so I gotta ask you.
Yeah, well, you can ask them later.
You're gonna get him over here?
But I will if you need him.
I do.
But no, I mean, just Tibbs, like I said, he's one of the guys that mentored me when I first got into the league, coaching in Boston, and be able to see him and be able to go in at 6 o'clock in the morning and work with him and just kind of learn from him. It's been great. So he called me up about a month ago to say he wanted to come to camp. I said, anything you need, So it was just great to see Tibbs here.
Not at 6 a.m. though, right?
No, not serious.
Are guys tired of each other yet? Like, have there been moments where it's been like some animosity, some
No, sir.
over physicality? Like everybody's been getting
good.
along really good.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
feel good.
I mean, that's good. I mean, 'cause I know like teams go up against each other this time of the year, and you get to this point, and it's like you gotta play somebody else. Y'all don't play a preseason game.
It's only been 4 days.
I know.
Damn! Oh God!
I'm just relaying the feedback I've gotten
From other teams or from our team?
from other teams, not your team.
Oh yeah.
I'm asking about your team.
Yeah, we're okay right now. I'll let you know that.
Okay.
James. CB's obviously a competitor. He's not just showing up to be, like an assistant coach on the bench, right? Like we know he wants to play, but we do see you talking with him. What's it been like having him in camp, just the from the knowledge standpoint, what he's able to bring to this team?
No, it's been great. Like you said, the knowledge, the experience. I think the biggest thing is just how he's helped our young guys. Just helping them on the court, off the court, and just a locker room guy who can be another leader that can just who's been here before, understands, and what it takes. And so it's really great having him around.
There's been some of the other
Talking about Chris Paul there.
teams at camp have talked about like physicality. They're trying to up our physicality, and so they bring in like NBA refs to kind of police the scrimmages, I guess. What do you want to see out of your team physicality-wise? Do you want to see your team get more physical? Like, if it's allowed, just keep going to that level? But
yeah, just keep going. JBG preaches that every single day, and that's what took our defense to another level last year, was the physicality, in your face, going for steals, being a steals team. And like I say, every day JBG talks about physicality, being a more tougher team, and so that's what we got to do.
The other day you guys had a referee meeting. I know Steve Kerr the other day mentioned that they went over some maybe rule changes, things that could be altered going into the year. How do those help you guys, and how do you guys approach those heading into, we saw some refs here, like, do you kind of focus on things like that at all during scrimmages?
I mean, I think it'd be good for us with James because he's always getting hit, so hopefully we can get a few more calls that way. But like I said, whatever's best for the league and, whatever we can control to try to make it a better league, but I'm all for it.
So getting hit on jump, is that like a change, a jump shot? Style change?
Yeah.
Like the high five?
Yeah.
Okay. They're gonna start calling those?
Depends on how Depends on how it happens. You didn't know that?
I wasn't in the meeting. I have no idea. Steve just mentioned there were some changes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You have no frame of reference here. There's Coach Lou. Appreciate our fine reporters. And I want to show you some footage that Law Murray posted. It's a high pick and roll with Ivica Zubac and Kawhi, where Zoo's rolling to the basket. Kawhi gives it to him, and Zoo finds DJ for an oop. We talked about this on Clips and Dip the other day. How many alley-oops will Ivica Zubac throw? I think we put the over-under at 4.5. I went over. It looks like they're working on it. He also had John Collins there if you wanted. Boom. Zoo's vision improving all the time. Also, before we get out of here, in case you guys wanted my opinion on the complete hit piece that went out from, I think, the Washington Post by columnist Candace Buckner on the Clippers that was titled "The Clippers Are the Worst. It's not just the allegations of salary cap circumvention involving Kawhi Leonard that make LA's other team the most hated organization in the NBA. Wow. We really went from nobody cares about the Clippers to most hated organization in the NBA, at least according to Candace Buckner. Real clickbaity, screaming headline. If you want my response to this article, and I did read it, it's right here, Candace.
I don't think about you at all.
I'm Adam Osland. You've been listening to Clippers Talk.